Over 7 million illegal cars are being driven on Britain's roads every day.
The ones that obviously drive around and knowing it's got no insurance, to be honest, I've got no sympathy for them.
Each year, hundreds of thousands of vehicles are seized
So the information is drivers tried to run over his ex-partner.
and locked up at one of the country's car pounds.
You've come to pick your car up, haven't you?
This time, we're on the road with the police
You were quite clearly stopped at that red light, and then all of a sudden you decided you weren't going to stop for that red light and went through.
It's not taxed since July.
the parking enforcers
We've got a persistent evader on Holly Street, over.
We're authorising for this vehicle to be removed.
and we've joined the people behind some of Britain's busiest car pounds.
We're trying to get loaded as quick as possible before we start gathering a crowd.
Do not cancel the insurance if you don't hear from a customer. So they cost me 6 points.
To uncover the shocking
It's not uncommon for objects, food, liquids to be thrown at us out of flat windows.
the miserable
So far, a £600 bill.
Distressing. It's very distressing.
I was just speechless. I was in tears.
and downright dangerous drivers committing all kinds of vehicle violations.
That's going to be where he's crashed.
These
The bike comes with us.
are the highway heroes cleaning up our streets.
He was called into A&E and he's now disappeared from A&E. We can't find him there.
And once you've lost your vehicle, if you don't pay the fine,
Can I give you the details of a removal, please?
If it's obstructing traffic, it's got to go.
you can wave goodbye to your wheels
Don't be stupid on bikes, respect the law.
for good. Up and down the country, car pounds play a vital role in keeping our roads safe from dangerous or abandoned vehicles. They are the final custodians of vehicles picked up by the police and other enforcement agencies. Vehicles end up impounded for all sorts of reasons, often after they've been pulled over by police for a different offence.
I think he was tapping on it, wasn't he? I didn't know if the screen was illuminated.
Surrey police officers Ed and Jordan have pulled a man over on the M25 as they suspect he was using his mobile phone while driving.
Oh, boss, all right? How's things? Are you OK? Excellent. What was the reason for the mobile phone in your hand?
Because I was dropping the active because it was going to drop. So I just stayed put and did a bit.
OK, I think it's important to point out to you that I was watching you and filming you as we drove alongside you. So should we try that again? What was the reason for the mobile phone being in your hand?
What's it? Yeah? Then the phone drop, I take it. Put like that.
Yes.
Yeah?
Right, OK. So there's no interaction with it at all?
Check it.
Unlock it for me if you will. So you're using it for satellite navigation?
Yeah, it's connected.
Right, can you bring up your call records for me, please, buddy? So, and your messages for me. Calls. Have you got your driving licence with you, please, mate? Is it a UK licence you have?
It's Spanish.
Spanish licence, OK. Is it your truck or a company truck? It's a rent-a-car, isn't it? Yeah. Thanks, buddy. Cheers. Oh, blimey.
Officer Jordan takes a moment to check the vehicle is safe to be driven.
So just look at the tyre. So you can see the tread wear indicators on them, quite prominent on these. That usually show up at about 2 mil. And the limit we're looking at is 1.6. So it just looks a tad low on this side. And I think they're just on the limit.
The tread on the tyres may be OK, but Ed's concerned the driver's licence might not be.
What do you make of that?
Spanish?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go look at some UV.
Yeah.
How long have they got this for?
I think 2 months ago.
2 months?
Yep.
And how long have you got it for after that?
About 3 more months, I think.
So about 5 months in total? Yeah? Is that hired from you or through a company?
Could you see if he's got the hire agreement and stuff?
Yeah, you haven't got the hire agreement paperwork, have you, mate? No? Nothing in the glove box?
Stopping any vehicle is an opportunity to ensure all the right documents are in place.
That's all legit, I'd
Is
say.
it?
Oh, well, I don't know. The UV background to it looks legit. I'll double check that's meant to be the right UV background.
Yeah.
But
If you peel the front off, does the UV stay behind it?
Oh, yeah. That's weird. It's literally like the plastic top.
The man says the van's been hired by his employer, but the officers must still make sure it's insured.
So you haven't got the hire agreement with you?
No, like, because they hire lots of vans.
No, absolutely. We need to be satisfied that you're allowed to drive it, but you've got insurance, etc.
Yeah.
So have you taken out a separate insurance policy?
Yes, but it's through the company's paying.
Whilst we're doing our checks, do you want to call your boss and ask him to send you a policy document over WhatsApp or something, just so we can have a look at that?
That his driving licence might not be legitimate. It's a foreign licence, which means that it's very difficult for us to do checks at the roadside, other than visually with my colleague's UV light. But the actual feel of the licence and the way it sounds on metal surfaces doesn't quite seem right to me, so I'll do a little bit more checking, and my colleague's going to have a look on we've got a database that will show us what a licence should look like, in comparison to what it does look like. We're also dealing with a potential mobile phone offence. I'm going to check some video footage I've got of him. He said he wasn't interacting with it. He said he removed it from the dashboard and was moving it into a better location. I'm going to compare that to the video footage we've got to see whether or not that's actually the case.
Yeah, that's what. They just look a little bit different, don't they? It just looks a bit blank, doesn't it?
Yeah, not only that, but it does not sound like it should do when it hits some metal substance. You should get that tinny sound when you drop it. It's really plasticky. Because most EU licences have the tiny little barcode along the top. Oh, do they?
Yeah, but it's not got it. I need to find the security features for it.
Yeah. There's a couple of insurance policies on the vehicle itself. We're probably going to have to make a call to the Motor Insurance Bureau to find out whether or not his company is listed, or I think his boss might be sending us through some information to verify insurance.
If the officers find out the van isn't being driven within the law, it'll be taking a detour straight to the pound. CMG recovery operator Matt is attending a police call-out.
So this morning we're off to Wollaston, just off the edge of Northampton. Northampton police have asked us to go out there and collect a Passat that's been sat for a little while with no tax. It's got 4 punctures, so it doesn't look like it's been moved recently. The police, if they trigger something on their ANPR system on one of the car, like a police car passing, it triggers an ANPR camera. Then they have the powers to take it if it hasn't got tax and it's on the road. Northampton Council also deal with their own side of it and take away vehicles that haven't got tax. It just depends on who really catches the car at the time. It's just standard, no tax, street lifter job. Obviously, by the state of it, it's been here a little while. All 4 tyres are popped. Officers said that they've sat on it for a little while. No one's come back to it, so we'll take it away. We'll get rid of it from there.
For Community Support Officer Donna, removing these kinds of vehicles is a priority.
It was reported by the local neighbourhood watch for this street. It's part of our local identified priority for untaxed vehicles. Unfortunately, this vehicle doesn't have any tax or MOT. So we have powers to remove them for no tax in conjunction with the DVLA. Arranged to have it recovered.
Unless someone turns up to claim ownership soon, this car, worth £1,500, could be on its way to the scrapyard. Car pound recovery driver Matt has been called out by police to pick up an untaxed car from a residential street.
With the flat tyres, it can make it a little bit more awkward sometimes, especially if they're pushed into the curb. But luckily, this one's been left up on top of it, so it makes it a lot easier.
Local Police Community Support Officer Donna was alerted to the car by local residents.
So it arrived yesterday in the afternoon. Somebody left it there and walked off away from it. They reported it as a suspicious circumstance, which myself and my colleague picked up this morning. We came and had a look, did a few inquiries around it and found that it didn't have any tax or MOT. So we have powers to remove it for no tax. The owner will get in contact if they want it back. There are several scenarios. It could be stolen and not reported yet. It could be that it's just been dumped because they didn't want it and they're not going to tax and insure it and they know that it gets taken away.
So here you've got to watch, we've got telephone lines above, so we've got to be careful of them, give them clearance on that. Sometimes they're easier than others. This one wasn't too bad, quite simple. The fact that it was up on the curb with the punctured tyres just allowed us to get the grids in underneath and lift it nice and easily. So yeah, not too bad today. With this truck, it's not too much of an issue where you can get right beside the vehicle to do your lift. As long as you've got a vehicle's width beside the one you're lifting, then you've got more than enough room to do your job. And if not, there's always another way around the problem.
The car will be stored securely at CMG's pound for 14 days. If no one lays claim to it and pays its tax, this £1,500 motor will be sent to the scrapyard. In Surrey, traffic officers Ed and Jordan have pulled over a van suspecting the driver was using his mobile phone.
I think he was tapping on it, wasn't he? I didn't know if the screen was illuminated.
They're also carrying out checks to ensure the van's documents are in order.
We need to be satisfied that you're allowed to drive it, that you've got insurance, etc. So have you taken out a separate insurance policy?
And being driven legally.
Is it a UK licence you have? Spanish licence, OK.
I'm just trying to see so all different like driving licence and identity documents with security features on them. So I'm just trying to find an example of a Spanish licence and what the security features should look like, just to compare it with his.
EU licence holders can drive in the UK without needing an international driving permit, as long as their licence is valid.
What does 4B say? Valido hasta? Expiry. So your licence is expired? It has. So you haven't got a driving licence? Okay. Just whilst we make some inquiries, could you pass me your keys, please? Is that all right?
Got provisional as well, showing on the DL check. Thank you.
UK provisional licence holders can't drive without the supervision of someone holding a full UK driving licence or drive on a motorway without an approved driving instructor.
Yeah, so his licence expired in 2020, and I'll take the provisional as he's driving without L plates. Have you got a UK licence? You haven't, no? So you applied for a UK provisional licence, so that must mean you need to abide by those terms and conditions, such as L plates to the front and rear, a suitable supervisor. Because this is expired, that provisional means it's a provisional, I would say.
My understanding was if he takes a provisional out, it doesn't really have any impact on his foreign licence. But if his foreign licence is expired, he's
got no driving licence.
Exactly that, yeah, 100%, yeah. His foreign licence, his EU licence, which he can drive on indefinitely in the UK, has expired. He's got a provisional UK driving licence, but the person he's with does not have a full driving licence. He's not displaying L plates, so he's driving otherwise in accordance with his licence. He either needs to drive on his provisional licence in accordance with the UK regulations, or he needs to drive on a foreign licence. So the vehicle's going to be seized. He's going to be reported for that offence. I'm also going to check our video and see what he was doing with his mobile phone when we came alongside him.
Good morning to you. Could I get a CAD for a 165 seizure? So he's got no entitlement to drive. So sort of from just using his mobile phone, we've had a look at his details, and he's not allowed to drive in the UK. So the vehicle's going to be seized, and we're going to work out getting them off the carriageway. And I think for both those offences, he's going to have to go to court for, because we just can't deal with it at the roadside.
It's illegal to hold and use a phone or sat-nav while driving in the UK.
OK, so there's two matters we're looking at here. The fact that your driving licence has expired, your Spanish licence has expired. Because of that, you need to be driving in accordance with the UK regulations for a provisional licence holder, and you're not. You've got no L plates and no supervising driver. So you're going to be reported for the consideration of the question of prosecuting you for the offence of driving otherwise in accordance with your driving licence. And because your device was using sat-nav at the time you were holding it in your hand, you're moving it from the dashboard back down here again, and your eyes are on it, I feel that the offence of using a handheld mobile phone is made out, and I've discussed it with my colleague and he agrees. So you're going to be reported for that offence as well.
The driver disagrees.
I was not looking my phone.
But Ed is not persuaded.
Well, your eyes went down on it.
My eyes was closed. My screen was closed.
Yes. 60 miles north, CMG have received another police call-out. One of the Pounds recovery drivers, Lewis, is responding.
We've just been given a job in the centre of town to recover a stolen motor vehicle with apparently fire damage on it. So we're just going to head up that way and see if we can get out the alley that it's located in. Depending on the size of the alley or where it's located in the alley, it might be a little bit of an annoyance, but fingers crossed it's a small bike and we'll be able to drag it out of there and then recover it back to our depot for the police to deal with as they choose. All right. Where is it?
Round the corner, mate. We've attended and conducted some checks on the vehicle. It turns out that the vehicle's stolen. It's recently reported to us. Unfortunately, the vehicle is burnt out, so the investigation will have to continue through other means such as CCTV and house inquiries.
Not in an alley, as first reported, the bike was set on fire in a local park.
It's not uncommon for a stolen vehicle to be burnt out. In my experience, it's becoming a less common phenomenon. I don't believe the owner's going to be too happy to hear what's happened to their bike and find it in this state. The owner will be advised that we've had it recovered, and then they can speak to their insurance company about reparations, and we'll continue with our investigation.
Just turned into a messy one. It's just leaked its oil all over the bed. But yeah, easy job. It's burnt out. It's gonna go straight for scrap. I can't imagine anybody would want this back.
There are over 100,000 vehicle thefts in the UK each year, and many of those end up being wrecks. It's the Pound's job not only to clear up the mess, but store the remains in case they're needed by the owner.
I'd much rather have my bike back like that, because then your insurance company are going to pay out for it, and you don't have to worry about what they've done to it, how they've ruined it.
This isn't the first torch motorbike laid to rest at the Pound.
Join the other one. 3 of us lifted this last time. One careful owner, never raced or rallied. They're coming in with the RTCs, because obviously they smell so bad, we don't like them indoors. So yeah, we just basically put them in the corner out of their way. Insurance companies write them off, or they go for scrap. One way or another, they'll be gone soon. Hopefully, because they smell.
With all their specialist machinery, car pounds like Lantern not only respond to emergency call-outs from the police, but also from the local community.
box up there ready to be loaded.
Unlike all car pounds, they don't only deal with cars. They deal with motorbikes, vans, lorries, motorhomes, 7-seater MPVs, and even, on the very odd occasion, a 100-seater. Severe weather has ripped through the local area in recent days. The wind was so strong that a spectator stand at Potters Bar Football Club has been flipped over.
So what we've got to do is try and lift it up, lift it back over, drop it onto the slabs, so they can then bolt it down and it's ready to go again.
Lee and colleague Gary have lifted all sorts of large vehicles in their time at the pound, but never anything like this.
So I think we're going to loosening ones, aren't we? Yeah, as long as we've got the chains in the right place, we're going to hook these back 2 chains on the back of it to lift it, and then we're going to use these front chains to restrain as it comes down. But I say, there's not a great deal of weight in it, but as long as the chains are kept in the right place, then we should be all right.
If Lee gets it wrong, he could cause irreparable damage to the stand, as well as his and the club's relationship with the fans, who've put a lot into this particular seating area.
It's quite emotional, really, because 3 years ago we put a lot of time and money and raised a lot of money to install them. We were forced to install them. We had local donations. We raised a GoFundMe crowdfunding campaign that was brilliantly supported by the club. We reached our target of £5,000. The supporters will love to come back and stand in there again and make a bit of noise and sing in behind the goal.
With such a lot riding on this stand, any mistakes Lee and Gary make could prove costly. And time is of the essence, as Potters Bar Town FC need it fixed before their next home game.
So where your hand is? Yeah, let's wrap the chain tight around there. That's where the bolt is there. We'll wrap it tight around there. Yeah, we'll put it that way. When you do the recoveries with the cars and the accidents and that, that's always something different, because always either upside down or on their side in the ditch, on the road, in a tree, so it's always different, but this is obviously totally different. So it's nice to have a little bit of a, put your brain to the test. It's our local firm anyway, Potters Bar, so we support them anyway, so it's nice to come up and give them a hand. A bit wibbly wobbly. Well, we need to get a couple of ratchets off the lorry and just ratchet these 2 together. Just going to put these couple of straps around it because these are in 2 bits. So I want to make sure they stay together. Got a couple of bolts top and bottom, but I'm not sure they're going to hold it. So we'll put these around it just for a little bit of extra safety. The dangers in using is really, I say, if chain slips or a chain breaks, or maybe what you've got something chained to breaks. If that goes sort of in between the lifting, then it obviously comes crashing down. So you've always got to make sure before you start lifting, everything is in the right place and everything is safe, ready to pull it over.
That's all right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Sure?
Yeah. That'll do.
With the chains finally in place, Lee can start the delicate operation to lift the stand.
Yeah, we're going to go for the lift now. Whoa. Just got to try and keep it low. All right, go. Once you start pulling it over, you've really got to go. You're committed to going then. You don't really want to be putting it back down again. So you've got to just make sure that you've got it chained on properly, everything's in place before you start pulling. Because say once you start, there's sort of no going back. Oh, yeah. Just keep an eye on it really to make sure it's all coming up level, which is a little bit screw width, but that's the way it's laid down. That's it. It's just caught on the back stuff. It's fell onto some bowsers, water bowsers at the back.
The stand isn't lifting as easily as Lee hoped. If his calculations are off, the stand might break into pieces as it's lifted. In Surrey, police have pulled over a van after they suspect the driver was using his mobile phone.
Well, your eyes went down on it. If the sat-nav is engaged and your hand is on the phone...
Because I'm on a dangerous road.
Yeah.
I hold it like that.
Yeah. OK, I'm willing to accept some sort of change in that. And as you say, if the device falls off and you're picking it up and putting it back, fine. But that device went from wherever it was into your hand, your eyes were on it, and then it goes down. And really, it only went down when you saw me looking at you. So I'm satisfied you've committed the offence. You don't have to say anything, but there may harm your defence if you don't mention now, something you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. All right?
As the driver is also suspected of driving other than in accordance with a licence, his journey is over for today.
The vehicle's going to be seized under Section 165 of the Road Traffic Act, both in terms of you not having the licence, but also because it's a rental vehicle, most of the time, where there is a licence and insurance offence, rental companies will want police to secure the vehicle for them. So there's even more of an onus on us. I've had it before with rental vehicles, so we would 100% seize that vehicle. Either the recovery operator, when they turn up, will get you to a safe location, or we'll get another police vehicle down here to get you off the motorway, all right? Because the vehicle's going to have to come with us. Equipment in the back. Yeah, indeed, yeah. There's not a great deal I can do about it at the moment. I imagine when it goes back to the recovery pound, you can speak to, or your company can speak to Rent-A-Car about recovering your equipment out of the back, all right? Cool. You sit tight for the minute, don't go wandering about because it's quite a busy road.
The courts will now decide whether the driver is guilty.
So they'll make a decision on whether or not you continue driving and go from there, all right? We'll wait for the recovery operator. We'll see whether or not they're able to take you onto a safe location. And if not, we'll get another police unit down here to assist you getting off the motorway. All right? Just hang tight, all right?
Safely recovering a seized vehicle on the hard shoulder of one of the country's busiest roads requires precision and skill.
Wallets, keys, all that sort of thing, you need to be able to get back in the house. So if you wander past two colleagues here, there's a little cut in there. That'd be ideal for you just to shelter in, keep you safe from traffic. Well done.
We're just waiting for our colleagues to get here and we'll take you.
This should be a fairly straightforward winch onto the back of the recovery truck, as the operator has access to both the van's handbrake and steering. The only fly in the ointment is the very heavy traffic passing by.
They really try and help us out. I think they know that we're on the side of a live road here and everyone's just slowing down because they're more interested in what's happening. So they come out here as quick as possible, they help us out. Yeah, good. Without them, we wouldn't be able to seize the cars, so it's nice to have them come out.
A second police vehicle is required to get the driver and passenger of the van to somewhere safer as soon as possible.
Thank you so much. They're not very talkative, given the circumstances. So it was a Spanish licence that expired in 2020 and a UK provisional.
The driver and his passenger will be dropped off away from the motorway, where they can make arrangements to get home. The van heads off to check into the pound.
When you go out on any kind of operation looking at mobile phones, seat belts, looking at any other kind of traffic matters, there's a number of hidden offences behind it. Driving licence matters, insurance matters, people who are wanted on warrant, people who are transporting drugs. So yeah, it's a whole cacophony by just spending a bit of time at the roadside looking at it.
Further around the M25, At Potters Bar Football Club, the survival of a spectator stand literally hangs in the balance.
Just got to try and keep it low. All right, girl? Whoa.
Recovery driver Lee is trying to right the stand after it was blown over in a recent storm.
It's just caught on the back stuff. It's fell onto some bowsers, water bowsers at the back. Yeah.
After hours of preparation, with difficulties along the way, Lee is ready for action.
All right, we're at the point now, girl. A little bit more.
The next few moments will prove critical in today's operation. One wrong move now, and this stand won't be standing.
Do you want to get a couple of bits of that wood, gal? We'll put it under the feet a minute. We'll drop it, take the chains off, and then we'll just bring it over for them.
Job done. Far from the conventional car pound day today, but pound life is never dull.
Do you want a shorter chain, gal? Shall I get the smaller ones? It's on the mud. That would come out there, go or not? You're going to push it again? Is that all right there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure? You've only got to go probably an inch, haven't you?
Little by little, and taking great care, the stand is re-erected and put back where it should be.
Down here, what do we put them at the front?
With everything finally back in its place and well in time for kick-off. But it really is a game of two halves for Lantern. Because next time they encounter the Potters Bar faithful, it may be to confiscate their ride. Not far up the M1 from Potters Bar, police officers Dave and Deck are beginning their shift.
Oh yeah, driver must get his belt on.
Using one of Northamptonshire Police Force's unmarked cars, they're out to spot traffic offences that often end in seizures for the pound.
Oh, they got their belts on in that? Have another look. Driver definitely hasn't. Passenger definitely not.
Almost a quarter of people killed in 2020 on Britain's roads weren't wearing a seatbelt.
Because he's got a brake light out. The vehicle in front, he's only got one brake light working, so the centre one on the offside isn't working at all. Drivers, when we were alongside him, was sat on his seatbelt. The rear passenger in the back, behind the driver, isn't wearing a seatbelt either. So we've got numerous offences, and we haven't even stopped it yet. So our intention will be to stop and speak to the driver. He's eased off a little bit.
A broken brake light can often be an indication of a poorly maintained vehicle.
Run it through, mate. Romeo 800. I think it's...
Vehicle showing no insurance.
There we go, look, this seatbelt. The reason why I've stopped you is that you're not wearing your seatbelts.
Not wearing a seatbelt can land you with an on-the-spot fine of £100 and another £100 if the case ends up in court. With the faulty brake light also an issue, officers Dave and Deck need to decide whether this driver's journey ends here. After witnessing a car being driven by someone not wearing a seatbelt, traffic officers Dave and Deck have pulled it over.
We just watched you, well, we watched you sat on it, because you were sat on it, because what you didn't realise is we've been alongside you. We're looking at you and we can see that you're not wearing it. So why are you not wearing your seatbelt properly?
When I sitting continue,
Okay.
problem with the breathing or continue. That's why I avoid sometimes this one.
Right, have you got a medical note from your doctor to cover your exemption for not having to wear a seatbelt then?
No, I haven't.
You haven't? Okay, well you need one of those if you're going to not wear a seatbelt, because wearing it like this is going to do you no good, so you might as well just take it off and put it on properly. The young lady got any identification in the back? You didn't realise? Madam, it's been law for many, many, many years.
It's been illegal in the UK since 1991 for both drivers and passengers to not wear their seatbelts.
I can't stress to you the importance of wearing your seatbelt. You know, even if you have an accident through no fault of your own, you know, if somebody else crashes into you, that could save your life. So, likewise with your passengers, you need to make sure they're wearing their seatbelts all the time. Deck, just go to about brake lights as well.
So, on the rear, you've got. You know about that already.
I know.
So if you know about it, why haven't you got it changed?
The man does have a working brake light in a box in the front of the car.
It's an offence to have broken brake lights. Why haven't you taken it there already?
No, yesterday I realized. That's why today morning I buy it from...
So if you realised yesterday, you had all day yesterday to get it changed, and today.
Have any questions, sir? No? Need to get your brake lights sorted out. We should be giving you a ticket for that as well, but I'm just going to leave that as advice. You need to try and get that sorted out today for us, all right?
The driver and passenger will be fined £100 each for not wearing their seatbelts, but today at least there will be one less car at the pound, so long as the brake light is fixed immediately.
Thank you for stopping. Enjoy the rest of your day, all right?
Not everyone whose vehicle ends up at the pound has committed an offence.
I've come to collect the bits and pieces out of my car that was in a road traffic accident.
The man's car was recovered by CMG after the accident.
Do you have your logbook and photo ID with you?
I've got a logbook, I've got my driving licence.
Perfect. And then, yeah, this was the one from the Range Rover the other night, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
I went out to it. I was the one who come out and collected it, yeah.
Matt brought the vehicle back to the pound.
So what we do is I'll go out there and get it out for you. I'll lift it out of the car and everything.
Is that all right?
Yeah, I'll go lift it.
Well, I was driving towards Banbury on the B4165 when a Range Rover came the other way and sideswiped me. I was examined by paramedics, the police were in attendance, and the paramedics declared me reasonably fit. I had pains across my chest from the impact of the airbags and the seat belts. But then my son came to pick me up and we drove back to Bedford, and then the vehicle was recovered by CMG.
The Range Rover the man says crashed into his car is also at the pound. The man's car is a write-off, but he's not here for that.
It's my wife's mobility scooter. You know, when they hit me, I thought at the time, well, I didn't know what to think, to be honest. It all happened so quickly. 1 minute I'm driving straight up the road. Next minute, this Range Rover piled into the side of me. And I'm glad it was the side, because if it had been head on, I wouldn't be here talking to you now.
So, the Range Rover collided with this gentleman's vehicle. The Range Rover's ended up near enough on its side in the ditch. Both of the driver's wheels are sheared off the vehicle, all the doors are peeled open.
This gentleman's vehicle, the whole front end on the driver's side, driver's wheels completely disappeared. Very lucky to get out of it. How you did?
I did. I was just saying, when all the airbags went off, I thought I died and gone to heaven.
You weren't. I'd say you weren't far off it.
No, I know.
A couple of inches more over it,
And that would have been it, yeah.
First thing we seen was a Range Rover sticking out of the hedge. See the passenger side of it, which didn't look too damaged. Once we got round and had a further look at it, you could see extensive damage to the driver's side. This gentleman's vehicle about another 100 yards further down the road with extensive front end damage.
How are you managing?
Just going to get all your clothes and stuff out, sir.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll get all your chocolates.
Yeah.
You don't want to forget your Ferrero Rochers.
No. Oh, there was all sorts in there. Well done, my car. This is the car that saved my life. Well, the airbags went off and, as I say, I was surrounded in white. I thought I'd died and gone to heaven. The fact that two vehicles had to collide like that, we both lost our vehicles as a result of that. But, you know, that's life, I suppose, at the end of the day. Accidents happen. You just have to make the best of what you've got and continue on afterwards. I feel I was lucky to get out of it. You know, we were both lucky to get out of both cars because I had a Land Rover before and always consider it a very sturdy vehicle. But at the end of the day, when you look at the damage on there, you think to yourself, well, this is a sturdy vehicle as well, because if it hadn't been so sturdy, I wouldn't have been here talking to you.
There's a couple of sandwiches in there, if you want.
Yeah, I know. They're from Saturday, so I wouldn't expect you to attempt them.
Have a safe journey.
Thank you very much.
There aren't always happy endings when vehicles end up at the pound. But for Matt and the team at CMG, seeing this gentleman head home fit and well is a great way to end the day.